I'm just going to play a video quickly. I know you guys have seen it. So basically, the new MTA documentary's come out. It's about brutality and injustice. I don't know. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah, it's good. It's very good.
So I just wanted to show one clip of it, and it's about basically two people. One person who was martyred, Mirza Ghulam Qadir. Also about beloved Huzur going into prison. So I just wanted to show a little clip from that before we go into Mubarak's your section, just to lead up to it, and then just if we can discuss it just a little bit. Because for me, when I watched it, honestly, my love for Huzur went so high, and it was such an amazing insight to something which I never saw before.
Yeah.
So I'll just show this first, and then we'll just talk about it. Just a small clip.
Despite losing his freedom, prayer remains Sahibzada Mirza Masroor Ahmed's first priority.
नमाजें अपनी पूरी तहज्जुद बाकायदगी से पढ़ते थे। एक दिन तो पहले दिन जिस दिन हम अरेस्ट हुए हैं तो जुमा हमने यहाँ थाना रवा में पढ़ा था। तो सादा साहब ने मुझे फरमाया कि जुमा पढ़ाएं। मैंने कहा मैंने तो आपके होते हुए कोई जुमा नहीं पढ़ाना। तो बहरहाल मेरी बात मान ली और जुमा आपने पढ़ाया, लेकिन हुक्म दिया कि नमाजें आपने ही पढ़ानी है।
The prisoners of conscience spend the night in Rabwaz jail, but their situation deteriorates the following day as they are transferred approximately 80 kilometers to a prison in the city of Jung. Here, they find themselves in palpable danger.
पुलिस स्टेशन से यहाँ से चले हैं तो उस वक़्त अक्सर नमनाक आंखें थी, हर एक की बर्दाश्त होती है बाज भी, लेकिन बाज रो ऊंची आवाज से भी रोते हुए देखे हमें और दर्दमंदी की कैफियत थी।
रास्ते में रुके खाना खाने के लिए, उस वक्त मुझे खाली भूख भी नहीं लग रही थी और मैंने कहा सारे लोग खाना खा रहे हैं, सर खाना खा लो। मैंने कहा दिल नहीं कर रहा खाने को, तो उसने कहा चलो बाद में खा लेना। तो फिर जेल जाने से पहले हसन ने बल्कि किसी को कहा कि इसने ना मेरा मतलब कहा कि खाना नहीं खाया हुआ तो खाना खिला देना।
The conditions were extremely horrific. He was in a very, very cramped room, which was meant for 60 or 70 people would sit, perhaps at a push, 80 people. But actually, they had cramped in somehow over 220 or 230 people.
मैं डिप्टी साहब के पास गया, उनसे कहा डिप्टी साहब ये क्या किया आपने? वो तो खड़े हैं। तो वो कहता है ये 800 की एंटाइटल जेल है और इसमें 2500 आदमी पड़ा, तो मैं जगह कहाँ से लाऊं? तो मुझे फौरन पता चल गया कि इसने साजबाज कर लिया है दुश्मन से।
सारे जितने भी रेपिस्ट, गैंगस्टर्स, क्रिमिनल जो मर्डर्स जो थे, कातिल जो थे, वो और जो टेररिस्ट मिलिटेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के जो लोग थे जो मतलब केसेस में इन्वॉल्व थे, वो भी सारे उस सेल के अंदर थे। तो वर्स मतलब क्रिमिनल जो थे ना, जो भी किसी भी क्राइम के अंदर इन्वॉल्व क्रिमिनल्स हो सकते हैं।
He saw how they would produce weapons out of whatever they had. For example, they would get spoons and then sharpen the edges continuously until they resembled a knife or a blade.
पाकिस्तान में तो जेल में आप कुछ भी वेपन्स भी होते हैं, नाइफ्स भी होते हैं, खतरनाक चीजें भी होती हैं। तो लोग आपस में ना बातें कर रहे थे, कोई नहीं रात तो इन्होंने यहीं रहना, रात को हम इनको देख लेंगे, यानी कि रात को इनको मार देंगे। अगर 400 आदमी 4 आदमियों को मारे हैं तो केस भी किसी भी नहीं हो सकता।
मोहतरम मियां साहब ने फरमाया कि मैंने तो प्रोग्राम ये बनाया हुआ था कि रात के हम 4 हिस्से करेंगे, बारी बारी सब जो हैं अपनी ड्यूटी देंगे।
News of the Pink Crisis has reached London.
और कानून मुजरिमों की पुष्टमाई करता है तो वहाँ सबसे ज़्यादा भयानक मज़ालिम मासूमों पर तोड़े जाते हैं। ये फ़िक्रा बैन ही पाकिस्तान पर जिस्मा होता है।
ये मुझे
Dolo, how did you guys feel when you guys watched this? Boris bhai, how did you feel? Had you seen it? I think you're on mute, sorry.
I watched that video, mainly that part of Ghulam Qadir Sahab, how he was devoted to Jamaat and how he was martyred during, like, he was instructed by the people that you have to bomb blast or something into the Rabwa, but he ran away from there. Then they encountered Ghulam Qadir Sahab on the road. So Ghulam Qadir Sahab said that it better to be on the road rather than my hand will be used to destroy the holy place. And these type of things. That was so emotional part of the whole video which I saw, that Ghulam Qadir Sahab and Khalifa Rabe was narrating that. That was like so emotional part. Yes.
Hamzad, how did you feel like Huzur knowing Huzur has been to this kind of jail? You know, they were saying a jail cell which only have 60 to 70 people, but you know, there are over 120 people in the cell. How does that make you feel like our Khalifa was put in a place like this?
I think again, I think there's a bit of the documentary either before or after that little snippet where before he's being taken to jail, and one of the companions with him, one of the friends with him, was saying to him, okay, now it's time for you to run, kind of thing. Now it's time to go because it's going to be very dangerous. And I think his response was, tell so and so that we are not those who run, kind of thing. So again, it's a lot of courage, isn't it? It's a lot of courage that you want to try and take. It's the courage of faith, courage of conviction, of certainty that Allah's with you, and you want to take that on in your day-to-day life as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they were saying as well that it was a big victory for us, because if he was put in jail and he had the life sentence with the punishment of
capital capital punishment.
If that did happen, then it would have been a big victory for the enemies. And you could see how they were celebrating on the streets. The Maulvi was going down in York, and they were celebrating with him, and they thought they had won. And that was actually very scary for the people in the Jamaat at that time, especially in Rabwa, because Mirza Ghulam Qadir, he was assassinated. Nazir Allah, the guy, the top chief in the Jamaat, is Nazir Allah. So now he's been put in jail. So for everyone, it was like a very scary moment. They can see from Huzur's face, as always, he's always smiling.
Always calm, cool, calm and collected.
Yeah, he maintained that same character even after. And even when he comes out, he's still smiling, and people playing flowers on his head, he takes it back off, and he's like, just let's get back to work. And they're saying even in jail, he was still getting letters coming to him. He was still signing letters. So like even the people in the jail knew his status. They knew how respected he was. And even I didn't know. I knew when Huzur was elected. We knew something about him, Nazir Allah, but we didn't realize. I think from this documentary, we really understood the love everyone had for him at that time, let alone now. And so that's why we know now that Khalifa is chosen by Allah the Almighty, and no man can ever do that. That's why for me it was so emotional, because Huzur personally, but he's too humble to talk about his life when you're talking to him. He's not going to go into detail like that. So that's why in these moments it's very nice to see that. Zaid, did you manage to see the documentary as well?
Yeah, I did.
I know you were sending messages as well, like must see this, it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I did obviously see this message from another group, and obviously whenever I see something that is which can benefit all of us and motivate us as as youth as well and everything, I want to be honest, I don't want to keep that knowledge or that thing just to myself. I want to make sure that it goes out to the surrounding people that I know as well, and that's how I feel that we all can benefit from it. That's I don't want to keep things to myself. So obviously that's why I shared it with you guys. And even when I was watching it, I watched it. I watched it twice, because the first time I was watching it with my kids, and basically you can't fully understand when you're watching with kids, to be honest. But then the second time when I watched it around, and I really kind of understood, what exactly it was explaining. And the other day I was just watching a documentary based on these prisons, and prisons in Spain and all these prisons which are not really kind of looked after properly, and what can happen in these prisons. And one thing that they were talking about, in these prisons, how easy it is, to kind of get killed and so on, basically. And all those signs, they were literally in that same prison which Huzur was as well in, and the condition and everything, the way it was explained. So for me, it just felt like, how is that possible that Huzur, managed to, get out of that situation and come out you know, alhamdulillah, that was just like, I mean, if any other ordinary person was with there, and you know, him being as the, you know, Nazir Allah of Jamaat Ahmadiyya in Pakistan, that is just, I just can't fit that, how it actually happened. That I really don't know how it really happened. It just, I don't know how you can really escape that. But yeah, that was something for me. So yeah.
The conviction, like you said, Hazur had when he was in prison is unbelievable. Like,
yeah,
sitting there smiling, you know, knowing everything's going to be fine, but everyone else around you is like, this is Nazir Allah. The guy in the saying when Hazur
no
said,
way.
can you lead Jummah? He's like, no way, I'm not going to lead Jummah in front of this personality. So they knew like who they were with, but because of his calmness. There's also a video, I think, when Hazur was going to Fiji, they were going in an airplane, and they were going through they were saying there could potentially be a tsunami that could come. And so the plane was shaking, and you can see everyone like holding onto their chairs, and all of Hazur's staff and his bodyguards were holding to their chairs. They were quite worried. And then you see beloved Hazur, he's got his video camera out and he's smiling, and he's just recording all of this from the people's reactions. And he's just smiling, and everyone's like, Hazur, what are you doing? And he's like, don't worry, everything will be fine. You know, Hazur's calmness calms everyone else, and he just knows, he can just see, you know, 2-3 steps ahead of everyone else. That's what makes him such an amazing personality. Boris, I don't know, you probably spoke to Mubarak Siddiqui about this, the prisons in Syria, because my father-in-law was also in prison at the same time when Mubarak Siddiqui was there. So that's when they met in prison.
Okay.
So he describes to me that in the same situation as Hazur was in, you know, there were so many people that there's no space to lie down, that they like literally put like sardines in a cell when only 50 people are supposed to be in there, but they put over 200 people in one cell. So they're literally leaning on people like this to fall asleep. And when people get sick, you know, it becomes very dangerous, and it's such hard conditions that we can't even imagine. That's why when you understand now, when Hazur is always saying pray for the people in Pakistan, we don't have a clue of what's going on until like these things are revealed to us. So that's why it's so important. Muraz, you probably understood that a bit more when you spoke to him, Anna.
Yes, 100%.
And then that's when you understand that's when you understand the pain that they go through. And when he's doing his poetry, you know, it's coming from the heart and it's coming from his experiences. And that's why, you know, people have such an amazing connection with these kind of people. So that's it. Just wanted to talk about that.